Okay. Now, last thing I want to do for you. Do different people that come to the table have different needs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Got a scenario for you. You ready? And I want you to just listen and tell me if this has any context to what might happen at your table. You have two children. The children's name are Amanda and Aaron. Amanda's 13, Aaron's 11. You take the day off from work, it's a Friday. You pick them up from their after-school activities. You drop them off in front of the house. You live on a cul-de-sac. You proceed to back the car up into the garage. The kids have already gone in the house already. All right, Carla? You following me?
Mm-hmm.
As you're backing the car into the garage area, you hear screaming and yelling coming from the kitchen. You walk into the kitchen, the kids are going after it. All right? Now, they're 13 and 11, yes? What are their names?
Aaron and Amanda.
Aaron and Amanda, okay. You find out that they're arguing about the last piece of fruit. It's an orange. How do you help them solve this situation that requires a solution? Let me tell you what I would suggest, and I think we could relate this to if there's an issue that comes up at your table. I say to Aaron, Aaron, why do you need the orange? Well, Dad, you just picked me up from my Cub Scout meeting. I need the orange peel or the rind so that you or Mom can bake me a cake or pie tonight. I said, okay. I say, Amanda, why do you need this orange? Well, Dad, you just picked me up from soccer practice. I need the orange juice so that I can replenish the fluids I lost. What if we did cut it in half? Because most people say cut it in half, because that's what Solomon would have done, right? Let's cut it in half. Let's be fair. Let's be judicious. Let's embrace due process. But if you cut it in half without knowing what they needed, guess what? Amanda would only get what? Half
of
the
what
juice,
she need.
and Aaron would only get what? Half the
Half the
peel or half the
peel.
rind. So if there's something that happens at your table, don't assume you know what's happening. You need to find out what are the needs of the parties here. Their needs may be different from one another. Okay? Any questions about that? Any questions about anything?
Well, I'm a little unclear about something because I've never been to one of these events.
Sure.
What is it that people are going to, what exactly are we facilitating?
You're facilitating industry discussions, topical discussions, whether it's healthcare, government, entertainment. So you'll probably be at a table where you have some subject matter expertise. We call them SMEs. Anybody hear that term before?
No.
SME, let's write that down. An SME is a SME. So Danny wouldn't put you at a table as a subject matter expert in the arts unless you have some experience in the arts, because you can facilitate a conversation that might be meaningful and insightful to the people at the table. So you would basically be facilitating a conversation where everybody gets a chance to be introduced, everybody gets a chance to dialogue, and you try to make sure that no one dominates or monopolizes the conversation and everybody has a chance to get validated. That's really your role as an ambassador. Because it's really a major networking opportunity for folks. You want to harness, cultivate, leverage, and maximize the relationships at that table. And that's it in a nutshell. Nothing wrong with saying at the beginning what your role is going to be. To facilitate conversation around issues that like-minded people, common people. Now, let me say this to you. Remember, we said there are no problems. There are situations that require solutions. Some folks might get into some debate or dialogue. It's okay, as long as it's in the spirit of respectful contrary. It's a term I love to use. Respectful contrary. So I'm not going to attack Francine. Hopefully Francine won't attack me. But we can have a conversation that if we have a difference of opinion, Ed, it'll be based on a substantive difference of opinion, but not because I dislike her and start talking about her because of any other factors. It's respectful contrary. What's in the best interest of the process and the stakeholders at the table? And just constantly shift the paradigm the whole time, and you're moving towards that dynamic, I think you'll be fine. And if something doesn't feel right, you'll feel it in the back of your neck. Okay? When you start having that inclination to start talking about yourself, again, there'll be plenty of opportunities to do that. I always say it's good to practice humility, because people will seek you out later on. Hey, you did a great job. Hey, you validated me. You allowed us to talk. You didn't say anything about yourself. I've had mediators, Danny, you know, in the world of mediation, where they've said, hey, that was great. It wasn't about you at all. It was about the process. And as long as you can stay steadfast to that, I think you'll be okay. Helen Keller motivates me every day. She's one of my sheroes. She said one cannot consent to crawl when one has the impulse to soar. And that's what we're looking for folks to do in this process. This can really set a precedent for so many organizations. There's a lot of organizations out there that do these kinds of facilitations, but not quite like this.